Welcome, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Decisions 9.2, new features, and enhancements. So let's get started. We have lots of new stuff here, lots of things to talk about. So first up, we have many new process mining related steps. We have get resource activities involvement and get resources activities and involvement. We also have get cost resources, get cost time units, and get costs. So 3 more great steps, but we're not done yet. We've also got 2 more for you. We have get cost timestamp attributes and get cost activity attributes. And as a bonus, you will know that get cost step that we just introduced in the last slide has already been upgraded. It now has a time frame filter. Plenty of great stuff if you're using process mining. So have fun with those. And for base decisions, we have quite a few steps here as well. So the first one we're going to talk about is the list of dynamic rows to CSV Excel conversion. So if you have yourself a list of dynamic data rows and you want to put them into a CSV file, you can do that now. We've got a step for that. What if you don't like CSV? Maybe you like Excel files. Well, you can do that too. Look at that output file type. And in the screenshot, you can do Excels, you can do XLSX. You have choices if you like spreadsheets and you like dynamic data rows. We'll have a step for you. So you can do some great stuff with that. So on to kind of database integrations of all kinds. We have a new menu for you. The previous user experience was a tiny dialog, which is completely separate from writing the query that we had when you're in a designer folder. So you could go into advanced and add a query. And we just wanted to make that experience the same and mimic kind of all the capabilities and procedures that you have when you're using something like SQL Server Management Studio, where you have syntax highlighting and you can select the databases. So we kind of decided to take all of your database integration experiences and put them into a more standardized view on how to integrate with those. So procedures, tables, views, and relationships all now have this brand new dialog in order to create those types of connections in the designer folder. We also have a refresh on table integrations, as well as an integration UI refresh. With the query editor and integration, we have also added a bunch of smaller buttons and things to kind of slide panels around and make the screen bigger. So as an example, you have an expand icon on the bottom where you have your rows, and you can expand that and make it full screen so that your results screen is a lot bigger. This experience of integrating into databases for procedures and queries, it's just been drastically improved. There's a new feature where you can see recent searches and where any searches that you have done in the past will be available as a layer box beneath the search bar. And if you want to search within the entire portal, you can just select all projects and it will search within the system level as well as within all the projects. On the right-hand side, there's going to be a type filter that we have added. It's currently a static list, and it depends on what you are searching for. So you can search for projects, forms, reports, folders, flows, etc. So just expanded search functionality when it comes to the portal. We've also added minor UI and naming changes to the inbox dashboard. We've changed the UI for project migration dashboard a little bit. Some tiles were removed, and the report on missing dependencies was removed. We also have a brand new calculated column in the report editor, and this is for the reject patterns. So you got your pattern, you can just slap it right into that field and it's going to give you the filter that you are looking for. So very cool stuff right there. Next up, we have a new converter flow, and this doesn't happen very often. The new converter flow is pad, list, and joins. So this converter is going to give users the ability to add some characters when they're trying to join lists or join strings, and they can add specific characters when you want to pad lists, or if they want to join some strings and pad some lists. You can do all that with this new fun converter, and you can find that under the Run Converter option in Converter Pad, String List, and Join. Also for repos underneath the project, we have project name. We have 2 new icons. One of them is for checking in and one of them is for checking out. You are only going to see these item icons if you are currently connected to a repository server. So if you don't see them, that's going to be why. It should be made for checking in and checking out. So there's those buttons right there underneath the name of the project. And that's kind of all of the new features we have, but we have a ton of enhancements as well. So quite a few things are going to be getting a little bit better here in 9.2. Let's talk about them. So there is a new option under the report editor, and what this is going to do is prevent columns from being reordered. So that is a new enhancement, allow column reordering, or you can disable column reordering. The work queue folders have new icons as well. So if you're a fan of new icons, we got them there for you. Okta has had some performance enhancements when users have tried to do a user sync or group sync. It was taking way too long. Especially more users and groups are trying to sync, and that's been tidied up, and it's going to run a whole lot faster. We also have refactor the index item in list step. We first saw this in 8.21. The index items for list step has now been refactored so that it can perform much better in version 9. Additionally, another thing that is added in 8.21.1, but is now in version 9 as well, is SSO lockout. So you have your SSO configured, and you're going to get idle lockout. So don't worry about someone getting into your data. It will lock out with configuration, idle lockout, SSO. This one is also from 8.2.1, but there is now the get JWT token for session authentication method, and it's going to work just like any other service endpoint. Speaking of JWTs, it turns out that they were having some unnecessary database calls, so that is only going to happen once per service starting in 9.2. So you're going to see a little bit better performance out of that. So a lot of good deals right there with JWT. Postgres users, you can now use your database schemas when you're installing decisions. When you choose that connection type down there, you don't hit basic, you hit custom connection string, and you can paste your schema in there, and you know that that magic will happen how you need it to. That's for Postgres users. Some more good news for Postgres users. The query editor can now handle running multiple queries at the same time. You could not do it before. You used to get an error. Won't anymore. So more good news for Postgres users. And if you are a Postgres user, I do recommend you watch our other videos on 9.2 as well, because there are some things you need to know about different versions of Postgres and its functionality in 9.2. The other thing that we got, everyone loves the thread jobs report, but sometimes you just want to look at that report. You want to know the flow ID for what you're looking at, and now 9.2 has both flow ID and flow tracking ID available. So it's going to be a lot easier to tell what flows are running in that thread jobs report. Another nice little improvement here is on unit tests, sample data in the debugger. So when you're clicking through that tree on the left, it's going to look much nicer now, much fresher. It's really great. So that is what I have for new features and enhancements in 9.2. Hopefully you can utilize some of these features and enhancements in your projects. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Thank you.